I'm Veronica. I'm happy to be with you today. Today's video is actually a follow-up to my remote seduction video. I'm going to be covering certain questions I get asked about remote seduction. And then to continue on in this series, I'm actually going to be doing some guided remote seduction sessions that you can listen to and follow along. One of the biggest questions I get asked is, in terms of remote seduction, what time of day to do it? First, I want to say that I know that there is a lot of conflicting information that you can find on remote seduction, and these are my opinions. You might find someone else give a completely different opinion on the subject. But again, these are my opinions, and this is what I have found to work most effectively. I hope that this information can help guide you towards success as well. So one of the biggest questions I get asked about remote seduction is what time of day to do it. Well, I'm a firm believer that it actually doesn't matter what time of day you do it. It really doesn't matter if the person you're imagining is sleeping, is awake, whatever they're doing. It actually isn't your top priority when you're doing a remote seduction session. Your top priority is the way you feel. So I think you should choose the time of day that feels best to you, that feels strongest. So whatever time of day you feel most relaxed, you feel most excited to do this, because remote seduction is supposed to be fun. I describe remote seduction as sort of a sexy kind of visualization. And if you're not that familiar with what remote seduction is, I will list the link below to that video. But again, that's my interpretation of remote seduction. You may find conflicting information elsewhere, but again, this is what I found to be most effective. But in terms of the time of day, and again, this is like the number one question I get asked about remote seduction, it's really what feels good to you. No time of the day is stronger than any other time of the day. What makes it strong and what makes it work is how you feel inside, and sort of the mood it puts you in. When are you feeling most desirable? Because remote seduction is to feel sexy, is to feel alluring, is to feel that desire for this other person. So you want to do it when you are feeling most in that state. It might be in the evening before you go to bed. It might be first thing when you wake up in the morning. It might be a completely different other time. And I do want to stress that you do not have to do this at the same time every single day in order for it to be effective. You don't even necessarily have to do it every single day for it to be effective. I would say do it when you feel compelled to do it. It's supposed to be fun. You're supposed to look forward to imagining these things. It's not supposed to feel like a chore. So do it whenever you feel most inspired to do it. I also want to mention that you can also sort of do mini remote seduction sessions throughout the day while you're doing other things. It's sort of referred to as well as daydreaming. It's just daydreaming in sort of a sexy way. So you could be driving in your car and imagining this person in situations where you're close to them and where you're kissing them, where you're touching them, that sort of thing. You could use that car ride or that commute, that bus commute, that mundane activity for some interesting brainwaves. It's a lot more fun to think about these sorts of situations than to, say, be driving in a car on an hour commute to work in traffic. So use that time for a good purpose. So another question I get asked a lot about remote seduction is it some sort of mind control? Are you sort of trying to overpower someone else? And again, someone else might have a completely different response to this, but my version of remote seduction is the complete opposite of trying to overpower someone else. Instead, you're sort of putting yourself in a sexy frame of mind where you're feeling desirable, where you're feeling alluring again, where you're not sort of in a desperate state, where you are feeling sexy. And this can only be a good thing. You're just sort of emitting these vibrations. You're sort of emitting the feeling of being attractive and confident. And you're sort of emitting these sexy feelings. And you're not trying to overpower someone. You're not trying to force your will upon someone. You're not trying to take over their mind in any way. It sounds so awful. All you're doing is you're imagining these things that are making you feel good inside. And by doing this, throughout the rest of the day, you're going to feel different. You're going to walk a different walk. You're going to talk a different talk. And by default, you're just going to attract the things that you want, because it's going to easily come to you because you're going to be in a different mindset. You're going to feel alluring, and that is going to rub off on this other person. They're going to start seeing you in a different way, and they may start responding to you in a way that they were not before, because you're suddenly feeling good about yourself and imagining these things that make you happy, and so there's more of a skip to your step. And again, remote seduction is supposed to feel good. The reason why it works isn't necessarily in the specifics of what you are imagining. So another question I get asked a lot is, what if I cannot specifically imagine this person's face? Like, what if the details aren't coming to me? And that's okay. You don't have to specifically imagine every single part of their details. In fact, when we imagine things, we don't go into that great of detail. I mean, maybe some people are better at it than others. Maybe you have an easy time imagining details. But I know for me, sometimes the details are there, sometimes it's just a feeling. But remote seduction is all about, again, the feeling it brings you and sort of the mood it puts you in. If you do a session, you're feeling really good inside and really tingly inside and really happy. So it puts you in a different mindset. It isn't about imagining these specific details in all of their specific glory. You don't have to specifically imagine a face, and if you can't, then get all upset. It's just in the feeling of it. Another question I get asked a lot is, can you play music while you're doing a remote seduction session? And absolutely. If a certain kind of music is going to put you in a sexy frame of mind, then by all means do it. The key to being successful at this is to enjoy it, and then to go about the rest of your day, not in an obsessed way. I'm not telling you that you should think about this person 24/7, because you need to think about yourself too. Key is to enjoy the session and then just let that enjoyment and that good feeling carry with you towards the rest of the day. So you can either do a remote seduction session where you're just imagining things, or you can do sort of a guided one, and I plan on releasing videos in this series that will help you with sort of a guided session. So do look forward to those. But I hope that this could answer some of your questions about remote seduction. Now, if I haven't covered everything, which I'm sure there's questions you may have, feel free to first watch my original video on remote seduction and then leave in the comments below any questions you may have. And I will do follow-up question videos for remote seduction to try to help you with any questions that may come up as to how to do it effectively. So please, in the comments, feel free to leave any sort of questions, and you'll see your question in a future video. And other future videos in the series will be guided sessions. So I hope that this could help you. I am Veronica Isles. I'm happy to be with you today. I do offer coaching. You can contact me at veronicaisles@gmail.com. You can visit my website, veronicaisles.com. I also have 5 ebooks available on Amazon, and I will list those below. I also have a forum you can feel free to visit to get some support, veronicaloa.boardhost.com. And I am also on Twitter. So feel free to follow me, ask me questions there as well. I'm here to help. So I hope you have a wonderful day. And if you liked this video, please subscribe to my channel. I do want to mention I'm going to list the link below for the Veronica Raffle, where you can win free prizes. I'm raffling them away every Friday. I'm also still raising money for Ember the kitten for her medical costs, so do consider watching that video as well and donating and sharing the video and story if you can. And I hope you have a wonderful day.